It will be what you make of it. What do I mean by that? I saw this reel recently by this girl who was just sharing an experience she had just had that day. She was excited to go eat somewhere. She wanted to eat out, I believe, at one of her favorite locations, and it was the end of the day and she was hungry. And then she found out that they were closed. And so she was really disappointed at first, but then she thought, you know what? I'm just gonna go run down to my local gas station and gather a fun little assortment of snacks and kind of make like a hodgepodge sort of meal of things that she'd never tried before. So like a little picnic sort of thing. Taste test, picnic. And she said when she got home with her fun little variety of things, she was sitting at it and she was looking at it and she thought, this is so fun. I'm so glad that I got to do this. And she said, it just goes to show how some people might get bent out of shape that, let's say their favorite restaurant is closed, and so, I'll just go eat a banana. I don't know what I'm gonna eat tonight, so I guess I'm just gonna be hungry. And then there are some people who go and try something new. Do something fun, a little extra, a little whimsical, you know? And she said, the situation will be what you make of it. So if you frame it from the perspective of, well, this sucks. My favorite restaurant is closed. I'm not gonna have a good dinner tonight because I don't feel like cooking. And then you go to bed all bitter. Or if you decide to make it a fun experience, a new experience, something to break you out of the mold of every day, just something fun that you have never done before. Well, and then you're sitting there happy. You go to bed with a smile on your face because you genuinely had fun doing something new. It brought you joy. And it's the same situation in both situations. The favorite restaurant was closed and you weren't gonna get to eat there that day, but one didn't end so well and the other end in joy and happiness. And I have something I wrote down here real quick so I wouldn't forget, because later I was actually listening to some songs and I discovered this new song that actually went along really well with that. And I won't sing it for you, but if you want to listen to it, it is called Movie by John. Hold on. John, gotta give you his full name so you don't find the wrong song. John Michael Howell. And in that song there is this one line that says, what if the thing that broke you turns into the thing that grows you? And you may be sitting here wondering, what in the world does that have to do with what you just told me? Well, there are situations in life where people go through something hard. I'm sure you've been through hard things. I'm sure you've been through trials. I know that I have been too. But what if that thing was actually used to make you better in some way, to either force you out of your comfort zone, to make you pivot in a different direction that's more successful than if the first thing had succeeded and not failed? I just thought that was so neat. And it really ties in with the first reel that I saw. A lot of things are either growing on you, working for you or working on you. Myron Golden says this, and I really love this saying. Everything is working either on you or for you. So truly, nothing is ever really a failure. See, it's all about framing. Something is what you make it. If you frame something in your mind as a failure, as a disappointment, as a letdown, you never progress as a person. You never grow better. I heard somebody else say that your life is basically a collage of all your failures and your successes, and where you are right now is because of them. And it was from a positive perspective. So when we think about life, so many people just want the successes. They just want to succeed. And as a type A person, I understand that. I actually understand that on such a deep level. It's insane. But what I've recently learned just within the past year, really, year and a half or so, is that life is actually so beautiful, even with the mistakes and the errors and the letdowns and the failures, because often those failures are what cause you to pivot into the thing that will make you. A lot of times those failures are actually the reason you experience a lot of those successes. I tried a lot of things. Ever since I was little, I've always been entrepreneurial, and some things I would try didn't work out very well. There were some other things that I tried that worked pretty decently. And the cool thing is, I remember, I was 13 when I first started putting myself out there. I found some little social media platform. I don't even think it's around anymore. But I started posting my art, just pictures of my art. And the cool thing is that kind of flopped. I think my goal was just to create a really big account where, I had a lot of followers. I was new to all this then. And in a sense, it kind of flopped, I suppose, because I never became some huge content creator at that point. And I guess it could be considered a flop maybe, but I will tell you that thing gave me a lot of experience. I learned, first of all, how to start reaching people better, how to talk, how to even film myself, how to make posts where I would post pictures of my art. I did it again and again and again and again, and eventually I pivoted from that to an actual YouTube channel. And I started that YouTube channel when I was 15, and because I had started earlier putting myself out there and doing different things, I was more comfortable in front of the camera, but it still wasn't great. I didn't make the best videos, but instead of thinking, oh, this video looks horrible, this is such a failure, I kept going, and I allowed those things to teach me so I could pivot and I could shift, and eventually that channel got pretty big. And even though I don't run it anymore, it was a very significant season of my life, which actually led me to being here, to where I am today. So, all that to say, I never let things that didn't work out or didn't seem perfect on the first try, I didn't let those things discourage me. I let them push me forward. I was always determined to get better. I never allowed myself to make of the situation that I was a failure as a person. I just knew that I had some space to learn and grow. So the moral of this whole video is really, it is what you make of it. So if you feel like you're in a negative situation right now, how can you mentally reframe that in a way that is positive, in a way that pushes you forward towards success, in a way that inspires you to continue? Because I heard somebody else say, so many people, even these famous celebrities, a lot of them still don't know what they're doing. They just take the next step, and they take the next step. And so a lot of people look at them and think, well, they're so far ahead. They have more experiences than you. And often, especially if you're younger, they've lived longer than you. They have more life experiences than you. They have more connections than you, mostly because they've lived longer and they've put themselves out there. And so just know that even if right now you don't feel like a whole lot is happening, or maybe you feel like a lot of negative things are happening, I want you to kind of reframe it in your mind and think about how those things are actually shaping you. They're forming you into the person who you will be eventually. They're pushing you towards making the decisions that will lead to your success. I love that. I love the line from that song movie. What if the thing that broke you turns into the thing that grows you? Now, the only way that can happen is, remember, if you make that mental shift. You have to make that mental shift. It's very important, because if you stay in the mindset of being broken, of, oh, this thing is horrible, my favorite restaurant was closed, so I can't have dinner, or my car broke down, so I can't, do this or that, or this door closed. Well, what if that door closed because a new one is supposed to open? So the problem is, a lot of times people are so laser focused on that door that just shut, that they don't see the doors that are opening for them. So keep your eyes open and remember to always reframe. If negativity tries to creep in, remember that even your failures are not actually failures. If they're not working for you, they're working on you, and they're helping you to become the person who will succeed, who is succeeding right now. Because as you get more and more experiences under your belt, you will learn more. You will improve yourself as you take action. Even the negative things that happen are very, very good for you, and they're very necessary. I don't think anybody on the face of this planet has ever had the perfect life. Anyone who is successful, who has a large sphere of influence, will tell you about their failures. And a lot of people have a hard time seeing that those people were ever where they are right now, but they were. And they've been where you are right now. So stay encouraged, and always remember that even the negative things, if you will reframe them in your mind, they will work on you and help you to become the person. So today, I want you to think. And if you can name one, maybe two, maybe three, things that seem very negative in your life right now. And whatever you currently are thinking of, maybe you need a little more time to think about it, but I think a lot of people just know. It's at the forefront of their mind anyway. They've been thinking on it too long. I want you to think about that thing, right? And then sit there and think about how you can mentally reframe this in a way that's going to push you forward. Because, my friend, if you don't do that, then you're just going to stay stuck in self-pity, not motivated, and you're going to be spinning your wheels in regret and fear when you could be speeding towards the finish line. I think that you would rather the latter. I know that I would. So decide how you are going to shift that thing, that negative thing. How are you going to use it to propel you forward? And then I want you to put it in the comments. Put it in the comments to inspire other people. What are you going to do? What negative thing are you going to shift and use to propel you? And if you know how you're going to do that, I would also love for you to put how you're going to do that. You were made for greatness. Of that, I have absolutely no doubt. But often, like gold, you have to keep mining through all the rock, all the dust, and all the mess that nobody wants in order to find it. So go find that gold, my friend. I'm so proud of you. Keep it up. And remember, your best days are ahead.